beautiful souls. I hope you're well. Today we have the opportunity to have our beautiful friend Deserie Sanchez with us today. It's going to be a pleasure to have her talk to us about different really fascinating topics. I would like to say we were supposed to do this little interview last week, but for a bit of health issues, our Desiree had to perhaps postpone a little bit. But now she's doing well, and she seems to be going. She's glowing and radiant as usual. And so, yeah, so today we're going to have Desiree with us talking about perhaps a little bit about the dark night of the soul, some awakening, symptoms, what is ascension in her view, and things like that, different diverse subjects, which will be fascinating. So, hello, Desiree, how are you? And
Hello, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It is an intense period for, I think, a lot of people these days, either physically or emotionally. So I think it's wonderful that we can address these different things today in the talk we have today, because I think it might be useful to a lot of people. So yeah. So if you'd like to share a little bit with us, you're welcome.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think a lot of us are really feeling a lot of the changes that are happening within our soul, the sun. It's been a huge amount of solar flares that are coming down that are really activating a lot of us to clear and cleanse a lot of the density that we have in our bodies. Um, and a lot of this density that we have within this 3D complex that we've lived in for so long is again causing us to introspect a lot of the things that we hold within ourselves, to shed a lot of this and vibrate a little bit higher so we are able to function with the new energies that are happening here on this earth. Um,
Which
a
is
lot
good
of
news.
people, yes, it is, but it hurts. It feels sometimes like we are dying, in a sense.
It's like a
Um,
process at the same time, dying and birth process. Yeah.
it is, a lot of people talk about ascension, and some people, I think, get a different view of what it is. And for me, we're not going anywhere. We are literally ascending within our bodies. And it's just the vibratory rate that we vibrate at.
Yeah.
And as we are able to release a lot of this dense trauma, energy, subconscious thought patterns,
Mhm.
we're able then to vibrate at a higher rate. Um, and that's literally what ascension is. You're
Mhm.
you're moving up into that higher dimensional place of being. So, um, we've all been in this dense muck of going through our karmic patterns in life. Um, I don't like to look at karma as like a negative. I think it's just an experience of different things that we take on, and we don't change or transmute that experience, then it comes back to us in different ways, which is
Yeah.
fine. We're here to learn. That's what Earth is here. That's why we came here, believe it or not, to learn.
Beautiful
Um,
school.
yeah, it is, and it's not so beautiful when you're stuck in that 3D type of aspect of being, because then you're really involved with all of the negative that is happening, especially here on Earth. Um, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh no, World War III. Oh no,
Mm.
there's going to be this and that." And I'm like, "No, there isn't."
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I not, I mean, I'm realistic too. I know
Yeah,
there's
you
negative.
are, but you're not succumbing to the fear, that is
No.
really being, you know,
Yeah,
it's on
because we
the
have the
agenda.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the choice of where we want to interact in this reality.
Yeah.
And we can choose to fall victim to everything that's happening around us, or take ourselves out of that by creating our own reality. And that's not being naive to what's going on, because we all know that the
Mm.
earth the world is literally going through its own dissension in a sense, the lower realms. A lot of the darkness is now being shed light on it.
Yeah.
So we see it now.
Always been
But
there, but just hidden.
yeah, I know it was so hidden,
Yeah.
but now we see it. And some of us, we get so delved into it that it literally affects us. Um, and some of us, we choose to not be in alignment with it and not let it affect us. We can
Yeah.
observe, but don't absorb,
Yeah.
and so, or be, and intertwine yourself in that negative energy. Just don't. So we understand that we are still in a dualistic world. Earth is dualistic. That's
Yeah.
dark and light. But we also have that within ourselves, as above, so below, as within, so without.
Yeah.
So we are all going through, some of us still are, some of us haven't gone through it yet, but the dark night of the soul. And that is where we start to question everything around us. And we start going down deep into our subconscious programming, our going into the areas where we didn't see before. That's why we call it darkness. We just didn't see it. We didn't have light on it. And the darkness to me is ignorance, not knowing. And light is knowledge. So once we bring light and knowledge and start having conscious awareness of our being, our surroundings, we can be more in tune with ourselves and start progressing on that ascension path, if you will. It's a journey, not a destination, because we're constantly ascending. There's beings in higher dimensions that are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, we're going to get to some fluffy place and be okay and wonderful, and it's just going to be,
Yeah.
once we leave this planet, I'm sure.
It's gonna be a nice break, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the journey for
Yeah,
sure.
but we can get to a place of being here on Earth just like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we can have what we want. We just have to let go of those traumas.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even think of that because subconsciously we're just being autopiloted
Yeah.
by our subconscious of what was programmed into us from even before birth. Our subconscious is pre-programmed from our parents,
Mm-hmm.
our grandparents, and their grandparents. So that's where they call healing the ancestral line.
Yeah.
Because once we change that programming, we're then able to change it within us in our cellular memory and change it for the rest of the people that come after us. Um,
Which
so,
is crucial. Huh? I mean, being able to change your own inner patterns. I mean, it really is an amazing gift to your transgenerational line. It's just we don't realize the importance of doing inner work. Yes, it is about feeling better for yourself, but it's also a form of gift to the ones following us, for those who have children. Because, and not even children. I mean, just, I think that when you heal things, you also heal things for your parents and for your, I mean, it goes both ways. So
yeah.
it's just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It
powerful
is
thing.
because we create cords with everyone we're connected to. Our parents, we have our genetic cords. With our family members, we have relational cords, and
Mhm.
so on, all the people that we meet. So,
Yeah.
as I say, as we heal ourselves, we heal everything around us.
Hmm.
We heal, um, our home too. I mean, even your
Yeah.
home can feel lighter and,
Hmm.
clearing the energy out of that.
Yeah.
But there's so much that we just don't see and then we don't realize. And even, different sicknesses that we have in our bodies. can be held from subconscious um, things like, oh, well, my grandma had, diabetes. Oh, well, I probably will too. 'Cause, well, now you're creating that disease within yourself. So no.
Especially if you keep repeating it and believing it
Oh, I
over and
know,
over.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, your
Mm.
subconscious can only hear you.
Yeah.
It can't hear me. It can't hear the person next to you. It can only listen to you. So if you are telling your subconscious negative things, negative aspects, it's going to listen, and um, it's waiting for you to give instruction.
Yeah.
When you say the operating command of I, it's waiting for the next command.
Hmm.
So if you say, I am, oh, I'm so stupid for doing that. Oh, well, you just told your subconscious how stupid it was.
Yeah.
And now it believes so. So as we change even the way we talk to ourselves and realize that we are in command, we're in demand of ourselves, we then have a different experience. I like to go through a little bit of a mantra every morning of saying, I am love, I'm light, I'm strength, I'm wisdom, I'm truth, I'm abundance. So you then get your subconscious realizing exactly who the heck it is.
Yeah.
Um, and that tends to help strengthen your being and your knowing and your
Hmm.
awareness. Because that's half of it. I mean, that's really what consciousness is. It's just being aware.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So once you're aware of doing anything, you're more at that point in moment of being that you're there. You're not, you know, flighty or just in uh, out of your body, because sometimes we leave our bodies a lot as well,
Yeah.
especially if we don't feel well. If you're um, depressed, anxious, stuff like that, your physical body doesn't want to feel that. So, or
Flies
your
away.
soul
Yeah.
doesn't want to feel that.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm leaving. I don't
Hmm.
want to be in that body.
Yeah.
And we leave our bodies for a little bit. That's why sometimes you forget. You're like, oh, what was I doing? Or,
Hmm.
oh, I don't even remember doing that because
Yeah.
you left your body.
Yeah.
So it's very important, especially right now in these times, to ground ourselves, getting in to the grounding, and being that conduit for this earth. That's why we're here. That's why we're awake. That's why we're doing this healing process, because we're here to help this earth as well. She doesn't need us, but we're here to help,
Hmm.
you know. Um, so as we ground, we're able to anchor our energy into her. And we're complete conduits with our sun. Our sun is our energy, our soul, our connection to divine source. Um, we're able to harness that consciousness, and it flows through us into the earth, and it helps quicken that process.
Yeah.
So, what we're doing right now, it may hurt, you may be having headaches, body aches, um, different flu symptoms, cold symptoms. Gosh, there's so many different ascension symptoms that a lot of us are going through because we're releasing again that density, that denseness. Our bodies are changing from carbon based to a crystalline.
Hmm.
Um, so we're going through a lot,
Definitely.
and not putting guilt or shame onto yourself for why you're feeling this way. But having gratitude, taking care of ourselves, self love, staying hydrated, and eating really good earthy foods right now is a good idea. But um,
Taking the time to
enjoying.
rest also,
Oh yeah,
resting a lot
lots of
and
rest, lots of rest. Some
giving our.
people,
Mhm.
yeah, some people have a hard time resting because they're like, oh, I don't want to feel lazy. Oh, I can't, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be doing anything. We are human beings. We're here to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here
Lovely.
to do.
Yeah.
We really are not. I mean,
Yeah.
we're here to experience, but right now is a different time on this planet. Um, and it's really important to take care of ourselves. It's super important. And a lot of people are feeling it. I'm having tons of clients that are coming on now that are like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's okay. None of us do.
We're all kind of, doing
We're
this,
all just
improvising this as
we're
we
all
go
just
along.
trying to hold space for each other and be there for each
Yeah.
other. And
Yeah.
we know it's something big.
Would you say that in your practice right now as an energy practitioner, that you find that there's more and more new people who are waking up to this whole, reality from this whole matrix we are and we're in? Do you find that there's really a wave of kind of awakening happening right now, or it's more like, starseeds and people who are just like trying to go through this? What would you say is happening? What do you notice in your practice?
I notice it does happen in waves. And, a lot of us, like, especially in our group, our family group of, we were like a wave. There was a
Hmm.
wave before us. It seems like the sun is now pushing on more activation to the next waves of people that are coming in.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we're all on different timers. Like, okay, it's time to wake up. Um, and it seems like, yeah, there are a lot of people waking up now.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So that's good
so
news. I mean, there's
it
movement
is.
happening. It's encouraging to
It
have
is because
movement
a lot
happening.
of us that are already awake are like, come on,
I
where is
know.
everyone else? But and there's some people that just won't. And that's okay because that's what their journey is to just experience the 3D being. And that's, we all had to experience that, but
Yeah.
some of us are here to now help with the next process. But, you know, unfortunately, it's going deep in the depths of ourselves, and it's not always a pretty process. And there are no rules. There
Yeah.
are no rules. There's some people out there that are just, they have videos and they're like, well, you need to be, vegan. You need to make sure that you just, I don't, there's so many constructs. You can't do that to people. We're here to experience.
Yeah.
And
And let go, let people do their experience without trying to influence them all the time and telling them
yeah,
what is true, what is not true. And
yeah, because then people are like, oh no, I shouldn't be doing that. It shouldn't be, oh, is this right? Am I gonna, am I gonna ascend if I'm smoking? There are no rules. If that's something that you are experiencing and that's in your life, that's fine.
hmm.
If you are a good human being, and if you ultimately know that smoking's not good for you, and you're like, okay, well, I probably shouldn't be smoking. Well, you're putting that negative construct on it.
Yeah.
Um, if you understand, okay, well, I probably shouldn't be smoking, but I'm going to do this because it's going to make me feel less stressed and it's going to help me understand, it, then you give it a different construct on your reality.
Yeah.
So it's all how we see everything. It's all how we're creating everything.
Yeah.
You're literally the creator.
Hmm.
And we have to override that subconscious, overriding, integrating together. That subconscious is our ego.
Yeah.
Our ego of, oh, look at them. They're doing that. And they're probably just,
Hmm.
you know, we have to start changing a lot of those egoic um, things that we've
Judgments.
learned.
Yeah.
We really do. Because not everyone, like I said, is going to consciously awaken in this
Hmm.
reality.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's all right. We're here to coexist with them. It's a dualistic reality,
Yeah.
dualistic world. And understanding that we don't have to be on their journey. They're on their own journey. And
Each of us are.
having no judgment
Yeah.
and going within ourselves and fixing the stuff. Okay, well, why is that person triggering me?
Mm-hmm.
What's within myself that's making me triggered? And you start going within yourself. And so next time you see that person, you don't become triggered anymore because you've healed whatever that was keeping that judgment. So everything is within ourselves. We don't have to be happy all the time. It's wonderful to be happy, but we're going to have times where we're angry, and that's okay to feel that anger.
Yeah.
We're here to feel emotions. We're human. It's about transmuting them and being able to have the tools to know how to analyze, okay, well, why did I get angry? Why am I mad?
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold it within yourself. Change it, transmute it, let it go.
It also goes with what you say about, for example, you were giving the example of the smoker. And in a way, it's instead of saying to yourself, why am I smoking? It's not a good thing. And then you're trying to put, really negative thoughts associated with that behavior. It's also to remind yourself that, why am I smoking?
Right.
And it's not just about judging the actual behavior, but understanding the root nature of this need for compensating or for having certain
Right.
habits that are perhaps not necessarily as benevolent to our bodies or to our minds. And again, it's not in the judgment, but instead of just like you say, going within and ask yourself, why am I having this behavior? Why is it compulsive? Perhaps I don't want to smoke anymore, but it's not about like I should stop, but more like, what does this mean to me? What does this cigarette bring to me? Is it bringing me solace? Is it bringing me care and love? Is that because this is what I need and this is what I really need to address rather than the cigarette problem, for example?
Right.
We're just using that cigarette example, but
Right.
I guess it goes for any type of behavior that perhaps is not serving us as well as we would like them to do. So I don't know.
Exactly.
Mm.
Finding that exterior crutch that is not within ourselves to be able to fulfill. Um, that's where it starts, you
Yeah.
know? So, it's there's so much to get into, so much identification and going, like I said, within uh
Yeah.
integrating this information. I like to go through like astrology. I started with astrology to kind of uh get an idea of, okay, well, why do I react to certain things differently than this person over here? Okay, so you start with your moon, your rising, your
Hmm.
ascending, your sun. And that gives you a good idea. Okay, well, oh, that's why I'm so serious all the time, or that's why I put up these walls, or so it's looking at the different things, but the dark night of the soul is really where you go into the depths of that. You go into your different triggers, your anxieties, and different aspects that you've had to go through that are mm, holding a density to you.
Can
That
you, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you.
Um, that's holding us in that lower 3D. And so once we start releasing a lot of those triggers and understanding why we have certain emotions to certain things, releasing and then rising up and out of that, having those tools to, if anything comes up, you're able to then identify and understand better. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say that because just for perhaps for some people who have not gone through the dark night of the soul process, which usually when you've gone through it, you kind of know what it feels like. But sometimes we can just really have some, dark or difficult episodes in our life, and we're thinking, am I going through it? And I was wondering if you could just, since you had the experience of, being with a lot of clients, to see different type of experiences, and I know it's going to be extremely different from one person to the other. But would you be able to describe a little bit, perhaps in general terms, what the dark night of the soul experience would be like in terms of how does it feel like? How, yes, it's about, getting rid of your traumas and not getting rid, but transmuting your traumas and transmuting your patterns. But just in terms of how it is really experienced in a person's life. Would you like to talk
Right,
a bit more about that? Like this way people can really relate perhaps to that and say, oh, I think that's perhaps this is what I'm going through. I'm not losing
right.
my mind. I'm not becoming suicidal. I'm going through a dark night of soul. And then, perhaps they
Hmm.
can. So I don't know if you'd like to address that a little bit more and with examples or with details.
Definitely. Well, the dark night of the soul started for me just feeling lost
Hmm.
and not knowing who I was, even where I was, and what my purpose was. It's like, what am I doing? Uh, I didn't like my job or anything like that. Is this really what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life? This
Hmm.
isn't fun. This isn't, what identifies me. And, you know, why am I constricted to a certain religion? And when I don't even believe in anything that, it has,
Hmm.
um, just questioning. I think the dark night of the soul is just starting to question, um, why you're feeling certain ways and why other people are so different from you and
Yeah.
why you are so, different from just the thoughts and uh, other things that make other people happy and excited aren't making you happy or excited. The things that
Hmm.
going out and to a bar and drinking and doing those things, just you don't get any fulfillment. And you're like, well, what's going to fulfill me? What is going to make me feel alive again? Because I don't feel that anymore. Um,
Yeah.
and kind of just feeling, starting to feel. That's kind of what it started for me was I started to feel like why is everything so intense now? Why am I feeling so
Hmm.
emotional? Why am I feeling so much energy around me? Why do I feel other people in their dense energy?
Hmm.
So, it's empathic. I think a lot of people are
Yeah.
starting to feel empathic and understanding your energy, understanding. Um, I think it's basically the start of your soul just waking up
Yeah.
and saying, okay, there's something different.
Would you say that perhaps you would define it as in a state of being in which you are not into a disconnection from your emotions and body anymore because you've decided to make that sort of unconsciously perhaps, but to make that journey of really feeling things and then you're just like without skin, you're like skinless and you're just like experiencing everything very intensely and that's really kind of part of the experience, would you say? Or
I believe so.
yeah.
I believe some of us are just on a subconscious autopilot for
Hmm.
so long, and then we're like, okay, it's okay, the alarm's going off.
Yeah.
We gotta wake up and start getting to the real deal of why we are here and the
Hmm.
remembering.
Yeah.
And I think because, like I said, the sun's doing what it's doing. We're going through this, what is it, 24,000 year cycle,
Hmm.
27, I don't know.
26, I think.
It's, yeah. We're going through that cycle to where humans are now starting to go through their evolution, their ascension, their remembrance.
Yeah.
Um, and some of us are starting to get some of those memories back.
Hmm.
So we feel like, okay, well, there's other people that are going to start needing that guidance, that help. Let me help you. Let me
Yeah.
help guide you. Let me be
Hmm.
here with you and hold space. Um, so you're not alone like I was when I woke up
Hmm.
and it was so
Yeah.
scary and I didn't know where to turn. So that's why I had to go through a deep healing within myself and go through the different programs I did to learn and remember a lot of the you know, the powers that we really have.
Yeah.
Um, and just help guide people through that and help them remember. So that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Well,
yeah,
so
go ahead.
good. I was just going to say, what would be the difference for you between, because people who have been on a journey, on a spiritual journey or inner journey for some years, as both of us have, when you do get the dark night of the soul, what's the difference between a usual, normal, low phase of the inner journey that we sometimes have throughout the journey, when you're feeling a little bit depressed or
Yeah.
a little bit lost, versus the dark night of the soul? What would you say, okay, this is two different experiences. This is like much, much deeper. What would really help someone differentiate the two things?
Yeah. The dark night of the soul is really just the lack of knowledge of who you are.
Okay.
Um, I feel getting out of that, you start to gain the knowledge. You start to
Hmm.
gain the understanding of, okay, well, I'm doing this way. Oh, that was a trigger from, my mom not loving me enough.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going to change that and have the tools to be able to identify and consciously know, okay, well, I have the ability to change that.
Yeah.
So I am now working consciously to
Hmm.
fix this. Where in the dark night of the soul, you're really just like, oh, what do I do? Why am I feeling this way? Um, I have no idea who I am.
Okay.
You know, so even when we get out of that darkness of ignorance, we come into learning and
Yeah.
knowing different aspects. Um, and then we're able to then consciously
Mhm.
identify different things that we can work on, that we need to release.
Yeah.
Okay, I have back problems. What am I carrying? What am I
Hmm.
carrying? Other people's
Yeah.
issues.
Hmm.
Okay, whose issues am I carrying? Am I carrying, my mother? She has, needs me. Am I carrying that on my back?
Yeah.
So when I release that, knowing that I don't need to carry her issues, everyone's on their own journey,
Yeah.
I then release that pain from my back. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just the different energies that we carry, they carry in our bodies. So once we release these energies, you have more light available to bring into your body. Get rid of
Hmm.
the density, bring in the light. So then your cellular DNA can incorporate more of your higher self. You're
Hmm.
knowing, you're being that light, which is just knowledge. Um, we all have that Akashic record, that remembrance of past lives,
Hmm.
this life, future lives, and we are able to tap into those. But we have to go through the density of releasing the different traumas that we've carried on here, the different lessons, not so much traumas, just lessons, the events that we no longer have to identify with it
Hmm.
because they were all just chapters in our book
Yeah.
of some good, some bad, but we don't have to stay with those anymore.
Yeah.
We are now told to release them. So once we are able to get to the point with, okay, I don't need to carry this with me anymore, I'm going to release it. That's the healing process.
Yeah. So to resume, you would say basically that everything that has to do with the dark night of the soul is really related to doing things in consciousness. And that's
Yeah,
really the main key there, is that this is the new way of healing, is that because now it is done in consciousness, and it's, but at the same time there's this loss of identity, which I think, well, loss or search for identity in a way, like who I am, and
yeah.
that's something I think perhaps we can address a little bit more if you wish to.
So I think half of the issues that we go through is identifying. We're trying to identify with different people, different ideologies, different dogmas. And that's kind of, I think, where we get stuck instead of realizing that, yeah, we go in the depths of who we are, trying to figure out who we are, what we are. And once we realize we are all part of that one consciousness, that one connected being, we all come from that state of love.
Mhm.
So once we get to that identifying of being love, we have finally come to that true understanding of self.
Mhm.
Um, and the identification process is a lot of the egoic, the ego subconscious trying to say, oh, well, am I this? Am I that? Am I, am I a sports collector? Am I a healer? Am I a, doctor? Oh, we're trying to identify because we haven't gone through the depths of who really we are in the deepness of us.
Yeah.
Um, and then once we do that, we can then understand everything exterior of us is playing a part within our own conceptualized reality
Yeah.
of what we're creating. So we literally have the power to create anything. So we don't need to identify with anything, but just interact with our reality. And once we realize we have full control of that,
Mhm.
we're powerful. We're so powerful. But again, it's going through those releases of those dense connections to who we thought we were.
Yeah.
And, the dark night of the souls, where we start that integration of knowledge, of knowing. So it can take a while, and
Mhm.
some are quicker than others, and that's okay, you
It,
know.
it can be very different from one person to the other, you would say, right? I mean, it can go
Oh
from
yeah,
a few days to a few years sometimes. It can be very unique to each person. Yeah.
yeah. I feel like mine was about 20 years. Some people, have it harder.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We just signed up for a little bit more knowledge or a little bit more learning.
Yeah. A high price to pay, but it's so worth it in the end when you come out of it completely, in a way, naked, but in a good way, in a sense that you are finally yourself. You can finally find that essence that you are. So, yeah,
that
I don't know.
that authenticity is
Yeah.
is really, and when you find that authenticity of yourself, you find more trust within yourself. You find that connection to your higher self. You're
Mhm.
able to integrate more of that information down to you.
Yeah.
Um, so clearing again that energy out of your body, having the clear channels within yourself, being that pure conduit of
Yeah.
consciousness.
Hmm.
That's just all it is. It's not, it's hard, but it's not hard. You know, um, letting go of all the constructs that we thought we had to attach to. We're now releasing those.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I do with my clients is help guide them through that self process.
Yeah.
Um, it's been very rewarding to
Hmm.
see my clients do that. And I ask for just myself, and I ask my guides and my angels to send me the people that are ready. And just about everyone that has integrated this information, these tools. And, on a daily basis, yes, we go through different things and we have to integrate these tools within. It makes it just a little bit easier to get on and understand,
Yeah.
you know. So, um, I also, I'm going to be starting a new semester with my mentor, my
Hmm.
beautiful mentor, Be Divine online. She has a new course, shamanic healing, that goes more into the depths of the actual healing process of the energetic healing.
Yeah.
I help people through their healing. This other process is going to take a little bit more in-depth processes of helping others using integrated conscious energy, source energy, and helping with that process. Past life regression,
Okay.
past life healing, stuff like that. Also, different traumas that other people have gone through. Um,
You mentioned, I don't know if that's something you want to talk about, but you mentioned that perhaps also people who had gone through, for example, what we call SSP or, programs and things like that, which
yeah.
imply a lot of trauma and a lot of PTSD generally. And you mentioned that. I don't know if that's
Yes.
something you.
Yeah, her next course is going to be going through helping those that have gone through SSP, the Secret Space Program, abduction,
Mhm.
people that have been entangled with darker energies, entities,
Yeah,
stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be going through those courses and be offering more of those extra healing modalities for people that need them because it's all energy. It's all, you
yeah,
know, we need to learn how to release and let go and be sovereign in our
yeah,
knowing and our being.
yeah.
So those are going to be offered. But we do have a Telegram group that we can attach below
Hmm.
for people that just need some help, some guidance, kind of lost during this ascension, awakening of consciousness, of knowing, and kind of need guidance as to where they go, what to do, and so there's different energy healers, practitioners that are in that group that can help
Wonderful.
and yeah. So
So is it like a sort of a forum where people can actually just exchange between each other, or it's more like a healing oriented,
it
thing where
is
you.
people coming in with different issues as to, oh, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I don't
Mhm,
know, anyone have any suggestions? It's just
mhm.
a non-judgmental forum to go in
Beautiful.
and say, oh, I'm having uh, problems with my husband, or I really just need some guidance. I need to just not be alone or feel alone,
Yeah,
because it's a very lonely process.
absolutely.
Um, but there's so many different ways to find that. And, as you're on that path, you'll be guided to where you need to be, uh, divinely guided. So,
Can
yeah,
you just, sorry, can you just perhaps just tell us what's the name of that Telegram group? This way, I'll
yes,
definitely put the link on the description, but at least people can hear the actual name of the group.
yeah, it's a light leaders support group. It's we'll have to attach it. I don't
Okay, sorry.
know the exact name of it, but light
I
leaders
will.
support group is all it
Okay,
is. I think you could look it
okay,
up and
perfect. Okay.
um so that's the semesters that I've been taking light leaders. She changed it to. So yeah, a lot of help there, a lot of guidance, and I'm always, available if anyone needs to contact me. And you
Yeah.
can put my information below. So
I will definitely do that for sure with all your information, your website, and yeah. I think I've heard from a couple of people now who said that after the interview, the first interview we had, they contacted you, and and they were really resonating with your beautiful energy and with your, the flow with which energy just goes through you. It's beautiful, and you have this way of bringing a lot of. I find personally, in you being a friend of mine, how you always bring this calmness. Your voice is very soothing, and you're very, I don't know, there's something energetic about your healing that goes beyond, your clients and what you do in your practice, but also as the way you are as a person, as a being. We can feel that beautiful high vibes.
thank you.
Yeah,
It took
it's
a lot
true.
of work. It a lot of work and a lot of knowing and knowledge to gain that confidence and that trust and authenticity of
Yeah.
knowing, So it's all love, and that's all I can give. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. And you do it
So
well.
thank you so much. But yeah, anyone need anything or just need somebody, there's so much out there. So many people waking up and
Hmm.
so many people with open arms. So
I think we're in a quite a beautiful period because I think there's a lot of people who have kind of woken up, and I always put that word in sort of quotes because I don't want like this to look like it's sort of some sort of
it's just the conscious
club.
awareness.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want
That's
this to
all it
look
is.
like it's, yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah.
like a high
Not
level
like
type of
there's
thing.
zombies or anything. Well,
No,
there
no, no.
is some.
But there has been people who have kind of woken up to this consciousness, conscious aspect of themselves, a bit just perhaps a few years earlier than others. And I think that it's beautiful to see this sort of, as Dolores Cannon was talking about, these waves of people coming
Yes.
to help. I find that this wave of people who are now ready and with open arms to receive people in whatever they're going through, maybe in terms of healers, creators, transmitters. There's many
Right.
different ways in which these not only star seeds, because that's something I was wondering. Do you feel that we tend to associate, star seeds to these people who are kind of ready to help others, transform or go through this consciousness process. Do you feel that also perhaps people who would be considered like Terrans in a way, in the sense that they don't necessarily associate with being a star seed or from another star nation, whatever, are also helping others going through that ascension process, and it's not just about the starseed thing and not make it like a club
Right.
or anything.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, literally, we are all from the stars.
Yeah.
Um, it is about people that identify more with Earth have had really more incarnations here on Earth, so they identify more with that earthly being.
Hmm.
A lot of us that associate ourselves with as star seeds, we have incarnated from other planetary systems.
Hmm.
So we have those fresh memories of knowing that we're not from here. That's why it's so hard to be here.
Yep.
Um, we have signed up for this now time to our energies have evolved a little bit more in density, and we've had the harder time of falling down and forgetting everything, um, as regular earth beings have as well through the reincarnation process.
Yeah.
We just identify with our other home
Mhm.
because we feel that divine connection, it's closer to us.
Yeah.
We still have those connections as we speak.
Hmm.
Some of us are in tune with our beautiful guides, and some of us, haven't had that connection yet, which is okay
Hmm.
because we may not be ready because we still need to figure some things out and still, go through those shedding of densities and
Yeah.
the egoic mind. Um, should our guides show them to us, we probably freak the heck out if we're still stuck in our ego of what we think, should be. And so, yeah, the star seeds are definitely just closer to their last part of being, their last incarnations, their family, their galactic families.
Yeah.
But we are all from that divine source creation.
Hmm.
We're all literally a part of each other. And once we realize that, I mean, this whole world would be so much better. But we're in the singularity and the egoic mind of still learning. So we still have to still think we're separate. And that's okay. That's the experience,
It's part of the process.
part of Earth.
Yeah.
And so we just give thanks and be grateful for this experience and enjoy it to the fullest because we don't have much time. This time is too quick
Yeah.
here on Earth. So shedding those traumas and enjoying the experiences that we do have here, gets to the fun part and the real reason of being and not doing.
Super crucial, that being versus doing. Not that doing is not important, but we
Doing,
have
sure, it's important, but it doesn't identify us, and we
absolutely,
don't need to identify with it, of,
yeah,
of the rat race that we were told that we had to be a part of.
yeah.
So
And it's a difficult program to turn off. I don't know about you. I struggle with that a lot on an everyday basis, the doing part, even though I know that the being is the essence, and this is what we should, it's the way we are rather than what we do that matters. But we do get caught up in this rat race and in this ego
and
thing
that's
sometimes.
it's okay to do things, but being
Mhm,
consciously being more in the moment and
mhm.
enjoying that, doing whatever we're doing
Yeah.
is
Sa
it.
Savoring the doing in the being, like the
Yes,
essence is the being while you're
yes,
doing, but the doing is not the center of it all. But
right.
not easy
Enjoying it,
to, yeah,
enjoying it,
savoring it. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, it's half the battle.
And taking the guilt out of everything, the programs have, kind of put on us in terms of I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that, I should not be feeling this, I should not be feeling that. And
Right.
oh my God, we're just plagued with these things. And
Yeah.
a lot of the letting go process is really about also just taking things as they are and accepting them without any sort of preconceived ideas or any
Right.
judgment. Easy to say, not to do.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah. Especially from others around us, family, friends, uh,
yeah,
having other people tell us what we should be doing, what we need to be, it has to all come from within, what we are guided to do. And again, releasing those traumas, releasing everything else that is holding us down, we're able to then find that guidance
yeah.
within ourselves of that true direction of
Mhm.
what makes you happy and what makes you enjoy this time here that we have on earth,
Yeah.
and the true essence of being human.
Mm. It is a unique experience in its way.
It
We
is.
us being so multidimensional and you know, um, genetically also complex, with all our
Yes.
sources of genetic background. We are kind of unique beings, and it's not to put ourselves better than others, but it's a unique experience. And instead of spending our days, dreaming about home if we're a starseed, or just complaining or feeling like a victim, uh, it's such a, like you say, it's a second, it's a lifetime on Earth is really quick. And just savoring every second of it is
Yeah.
really at the heart of it all. And,
Yeah. Yeah. We forget to enjoy it because, again, you're feeling so much of that pain. It's hard to enjoy.
mhm,
But again, when we find our power, we find our ways out of that
mhm,
matrix or construct, we are then free
yeah,
and learn how to play that game,
mhm,
play the roles that we want to play, interact, be the facilitator.
yeah.
So, yeah,
And be completely authentic in what we are, just no more
right.
BS, and just being completely, whatever it is we are, even if it doesn't um, comply
Yeah.
with people's desires or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there any, before we kind of wrap up this exchange, is there anything else you would like to share with us? You would like to,
Hmm. There's just so much. There's so much that's going on. It's like it's so hard to keep track of.
yeah.
I mean, just not having judgment if you have a bad day, being able to change that, your vibration on a daily basis. Okay, you're in a lower vibration right now. Hey, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do something I like. I'm gonna go and go outside and get grounded. I'm gonna go play with my dog. Just get that higher vibration going. You'll notice the time goes faster when your vibration is vibrating higher.
Definitely.
'Cause you're in a different you're literally changing timelines.
Yeah.
We're integrating from different selves. So that's a whole different ball of wax right there we can go into.
The whole
I know.
multi-dimensional and multiverse thing. I mean, there's no end to that. We could have another beautiful exchange about that topic because I think it's really fascinating. I'm more and more I'm kind of discovering how really multi-dimensional we are, especially if we start with the idea that on 3D linear time is an illusion and that we really are in fact in an eternal present moment, which means that when we talk about things like previous lives and future lives, and we're actually talking about something happening multidimensionally in terms of, being at the same time,
Right.
So when you start thinking about it, it just blows your mind because you're thinking, okay, well, I suffered from that from a previous life. And then when you start thinking about it, you're like, well, that previous life is now. So that means that if I am healing something right now or trauma, then will that influence actually that other life that's happening simultaneously. So that's just mind-blowing, and it's
amazing.
It's fascinating, and
I
it makes
know,
life
it's
incredible.
amazing. So it's beautiful. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't have time to be, just in that lower dimensional because you have so many other things you can play with and understand about yourself. It's beautiful. So
when we stop thinking in terms of victims and finding our sovereignty again and reminding ourselves how not only how amazing creators we are, but also how amazing when we're in consciousness, we're so powerful in terms of our reality. It's just so insane that, like you say, that there should not be even 1 second left for feeling sorry for ourselves, and just that doesn't mean we don't we don't stop when we feel something difficult. Yes, it's okay to rest and transmute things, but it's not about feeling sorry for ourselves and just try to jump into the whole magic of this Terra life. So,
yeah, it's a lot of work, but I mean,
it is.
That's why we're here to do it.
Yeah,
because we can.
So, my dear Desiree, I thank you so very much for sharing your thoughts and your feelings with us, and how you see this whole period that we're traversing right now, which is kind of intense, but at the same time extremely beautiful and stimulating, and we're learning so much from ourselves and from others. So I think it's and I'm sure that through your own practice, you are not only evolving yourself very much, but you together with your clients, it's like a mutual type of journey.
Yes, it is. It is divine connections. Everything happens for a reason. Everything's connected. So
yeah. Would you tell us before, I'm going to put the link to your website under in the description of this video, but if you can again just remind us of the name of your website or the actual.
The website is healingguideinthegarden.com, and my email is healingguideinthegarden@gmail.com. So if you want to go ahead and email me as well. And there's lots of information on there that kind of gives you an idea of the different techniques that I use as far as energy release and stuff like that. So
wonderful. People will have the opportunity to discover your wonderful work. And also I'll put that link to the Telegram group, which perhaps can be of support to some of us who are, going through challenging times. So
definitely. Yeah.
I want to thank you so much, dear Desiree, and I wish you a beautiful week. And I hope you heal completely from that from that cold,
just
that flu. Yeah, releasing. We're all releasing right now, so yeah. Hopefully everything's gonna go better for you. Yeah. I wish you a beautiful day. Take great care of yourself, and we talk soon.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you again. Thank you to all of you to be here, and keep your vibrations high and your positive mind and a conscious mind as ever. It's really super important. So, all right, take care. Bye.
All my gratitude for helping this channel bring positive vibes to more people.